Hey guys, today I will share my thoughts and tips about how I studied, and I have got a 3.9 grade out of 4 last semester in American grade school. I was very discouraged in my previous video because I had gotten the lowest score on my first quiz last fall. Honestly, other than the quiz, I had the lowest scores a few times more, and I barely had scored over average on my exams and homework that I had for the first 2 months since I started last semester. However, I started to get higher grades, and I've been at the top on some exams. I hope this video helped those of you who are studying in American school, and let's get started. I want to tell you how I studied depending on the subjects. I'm majoring in environmental engineering, and I took 3 science courses: chemistry, groundwater remediation, and coding last fall. Depending on the type of homework for each subject, the parts that I had to focus on were different. For chemistry, I had 6 assignments and 3 exams. They asked me to write the whole process of calculations and exact answers. At first, I tried to do homework and take exams after studying every page in the lecture notes that the professor offered us. However, he gave us over 10-page lecture notes every class. So there was too much information to study, and it took a long time to check. So what I did first was to solve all the example problems in the lecture notes. And while solving the process of the calculations, I learned additional information needed in the lecture notes if necessary. In particular, I could finish homework in a shorter time because the type of questions in the assignments was similar to the example questions in the lecture notes. And I studied for chemistry exams, reviewing all of the problems in the lecture notes and the homework I did. With time, the time for studying got shorter and my score got higher. Groundwater remediation didn't have any exam, but instead I had 4 quizzes and 5 assignments. And the type of homework was to write a report with calculations. So I had to explain the assumptions that I made and write the whole process of calculations to persuade potential clients. At first, I thought this form of homework was unfavorable to me because I'm an international student and I was not familiar to technical writing in English. However, if I analyze my score I received, I've got a high score when the flow was easy to read, and when the writing was unclear to understand, I've got a low grade. In other words, it was not a task to write complicated and technical terms, but instead to write an easy to read and clear information. Of course, there should be no errors in spelling and grammar. Before submission, don't forget to check for grammar and spelling in Grammarly. I think the tip is to write clearly and efficiently so that anyone can understand it. And last but not least, coding had 8 assignments, 2 exams, and 1 final project. The key to coding is writing code that produces the professor's results. I tried to use the code he taught in class for homework, but when the code was too complicated, I googled to find an easier one and put my twist on it. Even though I've got a lower score on my final project, I've got an A because I have had good grades in exams and assignments. There are 3 critical things that I would like to tell you. First, you should write down the process, even if the final answer is wrong. This may be different professor by professor, but they tend to give great partial points in the procedure. For example, I wrote the whole calculation process with the wrong answer in the 14-point question of chemistry. But the professor gave me only -1 point on my wrong answer, so I've got 13 out of 14. Although it is not perfect, they will give you partial credit for sure. You have to write down the process to prove to what extent you know. Second, American schools give us too much work to do. As I mentioned earlier, there is at least 10 times something to take or submit each subject. I know it is devastating so much, but instead it means you have more chance to make up for the mistakes you made before. I also got higher marks in the tests and assignments I took in the late semester than the former, so I got A's. Last but not least, investing more time than others is essential. My major in my undergrad was not environmental engineering, so I had to learn completely new information here. Moreover, studying engineering in English was so painful, and it is still going on. However, I decided to take my weakness and focused on reviewing the lectures for a longer time. If you have any questions, please leave the comments below. Please thumb up and subscribe to my channel if this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
But true love doesn't fit inside our neatly drawn lines. He operates by irrational rules of grace and mercy, a love that is, put simply, divine.